How you doing, everyone? Welcome along to another video and another Assetto Corsa EVO 0.3. This time we're going to be checking the optimization for CPU and GPU. Now, a quick disclaimer before we get into this. This isn't my true FPS. Obviously, I have to use a capture program, which is Streamlabs, to actually capture the footage of the replays, and that takes, I'd say, maybe up to sort of sometimes 40 FPS off my overall frames. So just take my FPS with a pinch of salt. What we're doing is looking if there is a big difference between the two. So I've got replays, 4 replays. One's a dry track, one's a night, one is then raining and the night, and then the last one is with cars, just to stress it even, well, to its max really. Basically it's just to see, like I said, the FPS difference. Is there a difference? Obviously I am running 4K, bear this in mind. There won't be a massive difference, I don't think. If you were running, say, 1440p, you probably would get more frames. But yeah, like I said, I'll stop waffling on. We'll get into my settings, my setup settings, what I'm running. Basically I am running a PC with a 5800X3D and an RTX 4080, just to let people know. And yeah, these are my settings. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So what did you think? Did you see a marked difference? I did. Obviously comparing the two, putting the video together, having them side by side, I also felt that the game runs a lot smoother. Now, a couple of little sort of caveats with that. I don't know if you noticed, the dry replay first was fine. The night replay was fine. Once we introduced rain, as you could see, the cars were exactly the same point on the track at exactly the same time, but the wipers were different, the rain was different, and obviously the actual cockpit view was slightly different in the newer version. So I don't know if my settings have changed somewhat without my knowledge, to do with my sort of in-car view. The actual FOV was the same, but it was just a sort of in-car view which was, yeah, slightly different. So more noticeable, as I said, in the rain and in the actual race scenario with other cars, where you'd have a car behind, and on the older version you'd get their light beam into your sort of car and it'd light up your dash, whereas on the newer version you didn't, which was quite strange. So again, whether they've changed something in the settings that I'd have to change, but as I said before, my actual graphical settings are exactly the same. So yeah, very strange. But yeah, what did you guys think? Definitely let me know in the comment section down below, as always, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.